So a few days ago, Netflix released a live special of a Chris Rock comedy stand-up called Selective Outrage. And I thought it was pretty funny. I think some of his older work is a little bit better, but it still was leagues above a lot of the stuff you see from modern comedians, like Amy Schumer, who's unfunny at all. You know, it's also funny, if I went to any of her Netflix comedy specials or any special that she's put out, it would probably be close to 100% from critics. And that should tell you something right there, because she's not funny. She's probably one of the most overrated comedians in history. But that's a different video. Let's talk about Chris Rock. In that comedy special, he took several shots at woke culture and how most woke freak activist warriors are gigantic babies. He's not wrong. In fact, he's quite right. Because of that, you can see right here, it's back down to 50%. It actually was up at 60% on Monday, and it's dropped back down to 50%. Now, why do you think that is? One, they don't like it when a black man steps out of line. He's supposed to be defending the woke, and he's not. You see that with Dave Chappelle as well. He dunks on the woke stuff quite a bit, and because of that, they don't like him either. They don't like it when somebody like him or Chris Rock step out of line and knock woke culture. But that's not the biggest story that came out of this. The biggest story that came out of this was the revelations on what happened at the Oscars with Will Smith. Now, we learned from that Will Smith has not personally apologized to Chris Rock. He did put videos out apologizing to him, but honestly, the best way to handle this, if you truly felt bad, would have been to call this man up and talk to him or go see him face-to-face and apologize, not just put it out there. Kind of disingenuous. I really don't think Will Smith feels that bad about it anyway. I think, like Chris Rock says in the special, he practices selective outrage. She banged their son's friend. She did, and admitted to it on a podcast. They put that shit out for the world to see, like he says in his show. And instead of getting mad at her, he slaps him. He dunked on them pretty good. It was quite funny. Well, a lot of people are wondering, how does Will Smith feel about this? And we have some idea. So Entertainment Tonight put this out. How does Will Smith feel about Chris Rock's comedy special? And it's not good. So let's go through this a little bit. It's not that long. But what's funny here is that Will Smith puts the blame on Chris Rock.
Source says Will hasn't watched the special, but people have told him what Chris said.
Oh, he hasn't watched the special. That's such a lie. You know, he was tuned in live like everybody else was that night. Unless you were watching the UFC fight like I was. I went back and watched it on Sunday. John Jones was back after 3 years. But, yeah, here's what's funny about this. He says he didn't watch it. You know, Will Smith was waiting an hour before that started for it to hit live, because they were hyping that show up with the fact that he was going to talk about this.
And Will would like for him to let it go.
Will would like for Chris Rock to just let it go. Let it go. Even though I walked up and slapped you in front of millions of people, let it go. The nerve of this guy. You mean let it go? It's an embarrassing moment for him.
The source adds that Will has worked on himself.
Will's worked on himself. Oh, hell, all's forgiven. All's forgiven.
wants Chris to move on so that he and everyone else can too.
Accountability. You ever seen those memes? Usually you see it with like, it's a joke. It's usually a joke on women. And it'll be an anime character or Neo dodging bullets. And like the bullets will have accountability written on them. That's Will Smith. So Will Smith put his head on Neo dodging bullets. That's him with this situation.
ET source says Will is also upset that Netflix gave Chris a platform and thinks it's distasteful.
It's distasteful for him, a comedian, to dunk on him. Now, that's what comedians do. I totally believe all of this is true. He's not going to come out and say it, though. He won't say this stuff because he knows most people will see him as a punk, because that's what he is. He's a punk.
And while Will may not have been into it, Chris's friends are behind him.
Another part of this is that he's mad. I saw another source saying that he's mad about Jada and he's been after her for 30 years. I don't believe that at all. Will Smith is just a kind of a sensitive wimp. And like Chris Rock pointed out in that special, his wife cheats on him. Who's he hit? He hits him. And this guy, the only reason he went and hit Chris Rock is because he knows he could whoop Chris Rock's ass. That's it. And he probably could. Chris Rock's not a big dude. Will Smith, as pointed out in the special, played Muhammad Ali in a movie. Okay, so I think Will Smith is probably bigger than you think he is. All right. I mean, go watch that movie. He's not wrong. He's kind of a big dude. So, like, who does he go after? He goes after Chris Rock. That's pretty much it for this. That's all we know about how he feels about it. He pretty much puts all the blame on Chris Rock. Man, this doesn't look good for you. And then you got people saying this. Woke writer insists Chris Rock deserved to be slapped by Will Smith at Oscars to teach him accountability for jokes about black women. What? So, senior writer at The Root had an essay saying Chris Rock deserved to be slapped. She told Don Lemon on CNN this morning that he deserved to be held accountable for his jokes. Okay. Oh, she don't look very fun to hang out with at a party. She looks angry all the time. All the time. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I will see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.